Hello, everyone. How are you? This is Santiago, Valencia. Hope you're doing great today. Today, I'm going to be coming at you with a song analysis, one of the first on the channel. Now, I heard this song about a month or two ago, and it just came out not too long ago. And when I heard it, I was absolutely blown away. I'm talking about Die With a Smile, put out by Bruno Mars and Lady Gaga. This song just blew me away because it was such a beautiful and well-crafted song that I just listened to it. I honestly think I listened to it maybe 10, 20 times in a row because I was just taking it all in, and I just hadn't heard something so special in such a long time with all the other music that comes out these days. So this song, for me, in my opinion, was very exceptional. So I definitely wanted to use this song as one of the first songs to analyze on this channel. So let's get down to it. The way that this is going to work is I'm going to be showing you kind of like some chords that I'm going to be playing on the side, which is what we're going to do with our chordy app here, as well as writing some stuff on the iPad and showing you the analysis of what this song is all about. I'm going to go ahead and talk about the structure of the song, what each section of the song is about, like an intro, chorus, pre-chorus or what have you. And then we're going to be looking at the chord progressions and the chords that are used in the song, as well as giving them Roman numerals on top of the chords themselves. If you're familiar with this style, it's kind of like the Berklee College of Music style of analyzing the song. It's the way that I was taught and the way that I'm going to go ahead and show you here, because we can take those Roman numerals and translate them into any other key other than what we're going to be talking about today. So it really is helpful to use that. So we're going to go a little bit over. If you're not familiar with it, stick around. I'm going to kind of show you, and you'll get the hang of it, of what this is all about. All right. So this song, Die With a Smile, was not written by Bruno Mars and Lady Gaga. It was written by 5 other people. And those people are Stefani Germantoa, Peter Hernandez, James Fantilleroy, Dernest Emile, and Andrew Watt. Hopefully I did not butcher those last names too badly. So if I did, forgive me in advance, but those are the 5 people who are credited with the words and music of Die With a Smile. So let's go ahead and see what these amazing songwriters put together. The song starts with an intro of about 4 measures. We're going to be in the key, and we're going to write this out here. We're going to be in the key of A. Now, our time signature on this is a 6/8 time signature. It is not the 4/4. It's not your typical 3/4. It is a 6/8, which does give it a triplet feel. So we would count the measures out like this: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Each beat receiving is an eighth note. All right, let's get started. So we have our intro. We have our intro of 4 measures, and we're going to be starting this with an A major 7 chord, going to a D major 7 chord. Let me try that again. Okay, so I played it twice, but in reality, it's only 4 measures long. So 2 measures on the A major 7 and 2 on the D major 7. Now, Roman symbol wise, we're going to be looking at this as a number 1. In the key of A, which we have, A is the number 1. If we build a triad on top of that, we would get an A triad. If we add a 7th on top of that, which in this case would be our G, that would be an A7, where we're going to raise that to a G sharp, which is going to give us our A major 7 chord. Okay, so in this case, for Roman numeral reasons, we're going to use the uppercase 1 and then the major 7 as our Roman numeral symbol. So with our D chord, we're going to be using the 4th scale degree of A major. So that would be, that's our D. We build a triad on top of that. That's our D triad, major triad. We're going to add a 7th, in this case a major 7th, which is a C sharp. That gives us our our D major 7 chord. Now, if we look at our chord symbol here, that is what we're going to be using. We're going to be using the 4 Roman numeral uppercase to let us know that it is a major chord, and then our major 7th to let us know that we're adding also, we're also going to be adding that C sharp right there, okay? So that's basically how the Roman numerals are going to work in conjunction with this, and that's why they're in red throughout this whole tutorial there, okay? All right, so that is our intro. We got 4 measures, 2 of A major 7, 2 of D major 7. Let's move on to the next section, which is our verse, number 1. Okay, here we go. So this is our verse. It looks exactly the same way as our intro, except that it's double the length. So instead of 4 measures, now we have 8 measures to this. We're using the exact same chords, the exact same Roman numerals, so there's no different here. We're going to be using these repeat symbols, as you can see right here. If you're not familiar with that, that is a repeat symbol, which means we're going to repeat these 4 twice, which equal to 8. So what is our next section? Next section we're going to be talking about is the pre-chorus. My buddy Jeff Lewis in LA is credited for coming up with the idea and the terminology for the pre-chorus. And that just means it's a section kind of between the verse and the chorus to give us that little transitional bridge. And I don't mean bridge by a section of a song. I mean that little transition from one section to another. And that is, in this case, the pre-chorus. Okay, so here we are in our pre-chorus. In this particular section, we are going to be dealing with an 8-measure long pre-chorus section. The chords are mostly the same, but we're going to add a few, all right? So if you look at the beginning of our pre-chorus, we are starting this off with the D major 7, which is what we left off with at the end of our verse. We're going to hit that for 2. And then we're going to go to the 1, which is our A major 7. Now we're going to have a new chord, which is our 3. This is a minor chord, a C sharp minor chord. Going to do that for 2. And then we're going to have an F sharp sus chord. What is a sus chord? Typically your regular triad is a 1, 2, and 3, except we're going to go ahead and substitute this 3 for a 4, and that is a substitution sus chord. We have an F sharp sus, which kind of creates a little bit of a tension, which wants to get resolved to the regular F sharp triad, which is exactly what this song does. So it goes from an F sharp sus chord to an F sharp triad, okay? So again, very masterfully done. It's creating that little tension at the end and then resolving it into that F sharp triad. So that is the end of our pre-chorus. So because it is a pre-chorus, what is coming next? Of course, the chorus. So this is the meat and potatoes of the song. This is what the song has been building up to up until now. And here we are finally. Now, notice something. So far, our sections have been in the division of 4. The intro has been 4 measures. The verse and the pre-chorus have both been 8. But they're going to do something a little bit different on the chorus. We're going to give you 14 measures worth of a chorus. So not only is that on a division of the 4, it would be 12, would be normal, but we're going to give you an extra 2. We're going to make it 14 measures. Now, why do they do that? I think it's basically because they're giving a little bit of extra tension at the end of the chorus that will then resolve to the next section, which you'll see. But the chorus here is 14 measures, and most songs will begin the chorus in the same key, the same chord of the key. So if we're in key of A, typically you would start on an A. Maybe the 5th, which is an E, but not here. We're going to be starting this chorus with the 2 chord. So we're going to be hitting that B, and it's going to be a B minor 7, which is the 2. So that is the beginning of our chorus. We're going to hit that for 1 measure. Then we're going to go ahead and go to the 4 chord, which is the D, but we're not going to use the bass of the D. We're going to use an E. Okay? So this is a D over E chord. Then we're going to go to the 3 chord, which we already know about, C sharp minor 7. Then we're going to go to our 6th chord, which is a F sharp minor. That's just a regular triad. And then repeat that so far. So we've got another B minor 7, a D over E, C sharp minor, and then F sharp minor once again. So that is this section that is right there. So far we're in 8 measures. And then we're going to do something a little bit funky. We're going to now go ahead to our 2, our D over E, then our 1 chord for half a measure, and then an E over G sharp for the other half of that measure. So if we play that out, we're going to have a B minor 7 measure, we're going to have a D over E measure, and then the next two measures are going to be split in half, one chord for one half and one chord for another, like you see here. The A, the E over G sharp, so they're each going to get 3 notes, three counts. D over E, A. Okay, so that is what we call harmonic rhythm. So we're going to give the harmony a little bit of a rhythm. We're going to double up those measures and give it a little bit of a push, if you will, to the harmonic rhythm of what's going on in the song. And then we're going to go ahead and end the chorus with a B minor 7 and a D over E. So there you have it. That is basically the third of the song right there, and pretty much most of the parts that we have for this song we've already gone over. So what are we going to do now? We're going to repeat the whole thing all over again. Let me show you how they do that. So this is one of those things where you're crafting a song really intelligently, okay? Now, once we've done with our whole first section of the song, the first third of the song, we've done the intro, we've done a verse 1, we've done a pre-chorus 1 and a chorus 1. So the next thing we're going to want to do is reintroduce everything all over again. But the way we're going to do that is give you a little bit of breathing room, because you've been introduced to a lot of things are going on. So let's take it back a little bit so we can rebuild the tension up, and that's where the re-intro is going to be. So we're going to be repeating those 4 measures of the intro in a re-intro section, as you can see here. And all we're going to do is repeat everything all over again. So we're going to have a re-intro, we're going to have a chorus 2, we're going to have a pre-chorus 2, and our second chorus as well, okay? And everything remains the same. The structure, the amount of measures are going to be the same. Everything's the same. So let's do it all over again. All right, so we're listening to the song and tension's building. We're loving the song. Everything's going well. And we're going to go ahead and give us something different, because remember, we've done all these sections back to back. And so we want something fresh. We want something different. Now, in the 80s and 70s, there was a section of the songs that was very common in that time of songwriting, and that was the solo section. So we would essentially take either a chorus or a verse and solo an instrument over it, a guitar solo, a saxophone solo, whatever. In today's modern songwriting, that solo section is not so prevalent as it used to be. It's really not in a lot of songs anymore. But what they've done here is taken that and brought it back a little bit. We don't necessarily get a solo, but we do get a section to where things are, again, another breathing room. Give us something a little bit different. And that is what I'm going to be calling the interlude. Now, this interlude is 8 measures long, and we're going to be using the chords that you see here. We have a B minor 9th, which is the same thing as before. We have our B minor 7, but we're going to go ahead and add also a 9th chord here as well. The 9th, which is our C sharp, that is the 9th of that chord. So basically, we have that going on right there. That is our B minor 9th. Then we're going to use the same chord, but now we're going to use a different bass. Instead of a B in the bass, we're going to use an E in the bass. And that is that chord right there. Then we go to our C sharp minor 7, and then our F sharp minor. That is our interlude. And we're going to repeat that twice. So that is 8 measures long. Then after that, we're going to do it all over again. But this time, what they do in the song is they have like a little, kind of like a break, kind of like an instrumental, kind of like a solo, except it's with the voices of Lady Gaga and Bruno Mars kind of humming the melody and doing their own little thing on here. So we're using them as our instruments for our solo. And this is what I'm going to call our break. So also 8 measures long, using the exact same chords here. So we have... Okay, those are our chords, and that is our interlude and break. You put them together, and we actually have a 16 measure breakaway from everything that we've heard so far. This is new material. We haven't heard this so far, so it's a nice little escape. And now we're going to want to go back to what we had before, and that is our next section. So because the chorus is kind of the heart of a song, at least in the verse-chorus format, we're going to go ahead and repeat another chorus. So this is the third chorus we're going to give you coming out of the interlude and the break. We're going to give you chorus number 3. Again, 14 measures long. Here are the chords for that. So it's no different than chorus 1 and chorus 2. Chorus 3 is the exact replica of the first two. That is our next section. Now, at the point of this song, we're probably going to start getting ready to end the song. We have to figure out a way to end the song nicely with a nice little punch to make it still very memorable. But we want to keep the momentum of things going as well without losing too much steam. So in this case, they did something pretty cool, and they've added 4 more measures to the end of our chorus number 3. And this section I'm going to be calling a chorus tag. So we're tagging 4 more measures to the end of that. And that is what you'll see here. We're kind of repeating kind of like the end of the chorus and kind of restating it, re-emphasizing it, driving it in a little bit more. And those chords are, again, F sharp minor. We're going to have a B, and we're going to have a B minor 7. And then we're going to have our D over E that we know. But let's talk about that B. Where the hey did that B come from? That's not part of the of everything that we've done so far. It isn't. This is what we would call modal interchange. So we are borrowing this chord of a B from another key because normally in the key of A, it would be a B minor. But here we're raising the third and making it a D sharp instead of a D, and that's giving us our B. So the cool thing about this, it's giving us a little bit of an uplift, if you will. Okay, so if we have our F sharp minor, normally it would be, but instead we're doing this. A little bit of an uplift, right? And then we're gonna go ahead back to our 2-7, which is our B minor 7, and then our D over E to complete that tag of the chorus. All right, guys, we are almost to the end of the song. So we've got our chorus 3, we've got our chorus tag, and now we're gonna really take it home and we're gonna be going into our outro. So our tag is kind of introducing us into our outro, and that is going to be ending the song. And it is very familiar because all we're gonna be doing is bookending the song. So what we heard at the beginning with the intro, we're gonna hear that at the very end in our outro as well. So we have our 2 chords that we know of, the A major 7 twice, and then the D major 7 twice, and then ending it on our last one in A major 7. So this section technically has 5 measures to it, with that last one just finishing off the song beautifully. And there you go. So let's go ahead and look at the entirety of the structure of this song. We started off with an intro, verse 1, pre-chorus 1, chorus 1. Then we did it all over again. We have the re-intro, verse 2. We have a pre-chorus 2 and a chorus 2. Then we gave us something a little bit different, which is our interlude and our break, which gave us some different chords that we weren't listening for before. It's something new information. That was worth 16 measures right there. And then we restated our chorus, which was chorus number 3. We added a 4-measure tag to the end of that chorus number 3 and finish with a 5-measure outro to get us back to the A major 7th chord. And there you go. That is the full structure of Die with a Smile. Now, if we take a little bit of a deeper dive into the melody and how the melody juxtaposed to the actual chords, well, that's where really the special sauce comes into this song because it's what makes it memorable. It's the melody that we're going to be singing along. We're not necessarily singing the chords, we're going to be singing the melody. So we have to make that very memorable. We have to make that very special and very, very interesting so that, it just goes really, really well with the song. In this particular case, we are using a lot of chord tones. So in this case, if we're beginning the song and we have an A major 7 chord, that's the beginning. I just woke up from a dream, right? So we have our 3 of the chord, our 2 of the chord, which does not belong to these chords, notes in the chord, and then end up on the 3rd of the chord right here. So they're doing a lot of that. They're kind of using the chord tones of it, but using those little extensions. Now, if we take it to the D over E chord in the chorus, which is the 2nd measure of the chorus, they're doing something kind of interesting here too, because they're playing this chord, but they're using the G sharp, which is not necessarily part of the chord at all. And they're really driving that in, Okay, so they're using a lot of really interesting notes to go juxtapose to the chords. Now, when I was first learning songwriting, I thought that, the melody could only exist if it was part of the chord tones of the chord, right? But as I found out later on, that just makes things kind of boring, if we're only using. And those are the only chord tones that we can use. Well, that's going to be very, very limiting. So this has really expanded the use of the chord tones that we have in the key of A, but not necessarily are part of the chord that we're using at that point in time. So they're expanding things and using extensions, using neighboring tones. So they're doing a lot of really, really interesting things to make the melody that much more memorable. All right, guys, so that is my analyzation of the song Die With a Smile put out by Bruno Mars and Lady Gaga. Beautiful song. It's probably one of my very, very favorites of recent times, and I just think the song is so well crafted. And what they've done with the chord progressions, with the classic style of a verse-chorus structure for the song, and then just become very inventive when it comes to the notes that they're using in the melody to go against the chords that they're using. Just completely masterful, a gorgeous song. I imagine you love the song too, because otherwise you probably wouldn't be here. So I hope this has helped you understand and get a better, deeper dive of what the song is and how they put it all together. Guys, if you want to know any more other songs, I'm going to go ahead and start a new series and probably analyzing great songs. And if you have any songs in particular that you'd like me to analyze, please go ahead and put that in the comments. Anything else, please let me know. And until next time, we will see you then, guys. This is Santiago Valencia. Have a wonderful day. Take care.